Hey, what's up guys, Sir Emanon here, and welcome to the finals of the 3v3 LCS number 10 that happened this weekend. This is going to be super exciting. We waited quite a while for this one actually because they decided to not go into time for the finals. What I'm going to do is, you guys already saw from the title, but this is all the finals rolled into one video. I have not actually watched very much of the finals since I was tapping out doing other stuff, but I went on 3 different Dueling Book accounts. I went and spectated each of these matches, and I'll have all the replays. So we're just going to go through them in succession in order of when they finished. So this game finished first, this one finished second, this one finished third. Now, thankfully, the players actually did it very smartly to where the hosts basically were all on the same team. So all the red players are on the same team, all the blue players are on the same team. So that's going to be really easy to track who's winning the match. So this is the finals. Whoever wins this wins the LCS. So let's go ahead and just get started here. So I'm actually going to pull up the brackets so I remember the players' names because I got to do that. So this is going to be the first match, which is Disturbed Angel, aka Paul Cooper, versus Gabriel Nets. And this is going to be Adamancipator versus Dragon Link. So going to be a pretty interesting combo mirror to start us off. So let's go ahead and just get started without any further ado here. I'm probably going to have to play fast forward quite a bit. Since every time a watcher leaves or enters, that counts as the next play. But Gabriel Nets gonna win the RPS here and gonna choose to go first. So Dragon Link going first in game number 1. Now the opening hand for Dragon Link is going to be Chaos Dragon Levianeer, Rocket Tracer, Noctivision, Dragon Ravine, and Wordlacy Guard Dragon. So this hand is very strong. Full combo, has a lot of extenders, no hand traps, but it's okay because he won the die roll. So this is a very, very strong hand on his part. And then for the Adamancipator hand, it's going to be Seeker, Droll, Nibiru, Doki, and Miracle Rupture. So this hand's also really good because it has 2 hand traps for going second and an extender, or multiple ways to extend as well. So this will be a very, very good match. So yeah, I'm going to have to click fast forward at times here because so many watchers leaving and entering. But going to normal summon a copy of Rocket Tracer here. And then going to link summon a copy of Striker Dragon, and then going to trigger Striker and Noctivision. So Nocto hits the board, Striker gets to search for Brute Sector launch. And then from here, Droll is going to get dropped. But it's actually fine, because this deck definitely can pivot around Droll. The question is going to be if he can play around Nibiru successfully. So thinking, gonna go into a copy of Hieratic Seal. Doesn't get the draw off Nocto, of course, in their Droll. Then going to follow it up with a copy of Wordlacy Guard Dragon. That's going to bring back the Rocket Tracer from Graveyard. And then going to link that away for a copy of Guard Dragon LP. And then Wordlacy Guard Dragon to move the LP. And how many summons is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is over 5 summons, so Nibiru is live here. Now, Seal does somewhat help mitigate the effects of Nibiru. However, the targets to tag into aren't amazing since we are under Droll. So Brotar and the Black Metal Dragon aren't going to be the most optimal. However, there still is an option to go for Tracer and Unsavage, so that's something to think about. LP effect is going to activate here, and that's going to summon out Safer. And then going to link the Safer away into a copy of Pisty, and then going to banish 3 Darks to summon out Chaos Dragon Levianeer. And then going to activate Levianeer effect. Chooses not to Nibiru, taking the risk, taking the gamble. 1 in 4 shot to hit it, and hits the Doki instead. I thought it was going to count from this way over, from right to left, because from his point of view, it's the other way around. But no, hits the Doki instead of Nibiru. So Nibiru is still live here. You know, it takes some guts to make a play like that, but Pissy now going to activate. That's going to bring back the Rocket Tracer. And now Tracer effect, that's going to pop the Pisty and then summon out Recharger from deck. And then those 2 are going to be synchroned away for a copy of Borrowed Savage. This is definitely going to prompt the Nibiru for sure. So the board gets cleared, and then the token gets summoned. Let's see what the stats are going to be. 7,000 attack, 2,500 defense. Shout out to Disencoder. So let's see. Defense under the extra monster zone. Now, Hieratic Seal does get the trigger here. It is mandatory. So that is going to summon out a copy of, let's see what it's going to be. Very curious. It's going to be another Safer. Now, the effect of Savage actually, to equip is not once per turn, by the way. The only once per turn is the effect to negate. So, Seyfried could theoretically put back the Savage, and if there's a way to summon the Savage again, then that could be a way to at least have an interruption. We are locked in the Dark Sun or Tracer. That's something important to note. Seyfried can be banished to add back the Levianeer, and then going to link away into another copy of Striker Dragon. Striker Dragon effect is going to target itself and the Recharger. Recharger going to trigger here. That's going to bring back the Savage. And then going to special summon a copy of Chaos Dragon Levianeer by banishing 3 darks. Already used the effect, of course. And then going to overlay for Sanafon, the Sky Prison. So this is a dark and it works under the Tracer lock. So this card says gains 100 attack and defense for each monster in the graveyards. Once per turn, you can attach 1 material from this card. Until the end of your opponent's next turn, this card cannot be destroyed by card effects. Also, neither player can special summon monsters from the graveyards. So, pretty interesting. I am 99% confident that everybody knows the matchup by now. And this actually isn't amazing against Adamancipator, because they don't summon that much from the grave. However, it will shut off the Miracle Rupture from getting Revival Golem. So that is definitely relevant there. This card was somewhat played in the Danger Thunder deck, like back in 2019. But yeah, Sanafon going to activate here. 3,300 defense now after the detach, and then going to pass. There are, 6 monsters in graveyard right now. All right. Top deck going to be Performage Hat Tricker. So this is pretty good for Adamancipator because there are no actual interruptions, just a lingering floodgate. Yeah, so 1 card unknown in hand. Gonna normal summon a copy of Adamancipator Seeker. That's going to reveal the Revival Golem, so that's the target that was going to be sent off the Miracle Rupture anyways, so that works out. The other 4 cards are going to be put back, and then Revival Golem hits the board. Going to summon out Performage Hat Tricker, and then going to overlay for a copy of Gallon Granite, and then going to activate Granite effect. That's going to search for Researcher. Again, these plays are all not really going to be affected by Sanafon whatsoever. Researcher effect is going to activate. And there's the TG Tank Rub again. If you guys missed the top 4 feature match, this card basically allows the Adamancipator player to go into TG Harper Librarian, generate a token, and then use that with another level 2 tuner to go into Martial Metal Marcher. And this facilitates various different synchro options. But Guardian is going to be the pickup here. And then at this point, going to be thinking for a bit. 2,500 defense token. Going to synchro summon a copy of Adamancipator Risen Raptite. Raptite effect is going to excavate 5. Let's see what the hits are. Hits Nibiru, which is at least another body. And then the rest get put back. And then from here, going to go for a link play, it looks like, for a copy of Fiber. Fiber effect is going to summon from deck. That's going to grab a copy of another Seeker. And then going to synchro into a copy of Dragite. Dragite is going to excavate. Going to have to hit a couple rocks here and hits the required ones necessary to bounce the entire board. And this is going to be game for sure. 8,300 plus 15. Definitely going to be game. And then that is the end of game number 1. So Adamancipator taking the first game of this set in this best of 3. I guess best of 9, technically. But yeah, game 1 goes to Adamancipator. So let's now go ahead and move on into game number 2. I literally clicked fast forward there and I let it go for 3 seconds, and that's how long it took. So lots of things happening in the Watchers chat. But we're going to move to game 2. Dragonlink going to start us off again, and their opening hand is going to be Noctivision, Rocket Tracer, Chamber Dragon Maid, Ash Blossom, and World Legacy Guard Dragon. So this hand is, again, quite strong, but does fall prey to certain hand traps. So we'll see how he's going to navigate these. And then we're going to see the Adamancipator hand going second to be Analyzer, Droll, Hat Tricker, Guardian, and Researcher. So this hand's also really strong going second because Analyzer, Hat Tricker, lots of ways to spam bodies on the board going second. And Droll, very important again. Now there's no Nibiru this time around, so we'll see if Gabriel can combo off here. Going to standby phase, bluff something like Lancia, pretty interesting. But going to normal summon Chamber, that's going to grab Tidying from deck to hand, and then going to drop Drill and Resolution here. And then going to link for a copy of Striker Dragon, and then trigger Knock Division in the process. Looks very similar to game 1, right? Gonna go for a copy of Heretic Seal, and then World Legacy Guard Dragon back the Chamber instead of Tracer this time. And then going to link for a copy of Guard Dragon LP. LP going to move. Okay, yeah, LP's gonna be moved by the World Legacy Guard Dragon. There are no more responses here. Excuse me if I'm a little bit fumbling on the cast. I have been commentating all the LCS matches all throughout this entire weekend. This is the 12th video going up in 2 days. If you guys want to check out the playlist, I have it linked in the top right corner of the screen and in the description box. But we're going to go ahead and see LP being used. I'm spamming the next play button here on DB, just going to fast forward. Going to grab Rocket Synchron. And then going to summon out Pisty by using the Rocket Synchron, and then Pisty effect is going to bring back the Striker Dragon. And then Striker Dragon going to target the Pisty to add back the Rocket Synchron. And then going to set Tidying. And going to pass on this. Bluffing Nibiru again. Asking to be Tidying, and going to pass. So there are 3 interruptions here. There's Seal, there's Tidying, and there's Ash. This may or may not be good enough to stop it. Let's find out. So top deck's the Lightning Storm, which is very good. Like very, very good. Going to use the Lightning Storm. That's going to pop spells and traps. I like this quite a lot because Guardian can, of course, take care of the monster front. So yeah, the Tidying was the real concern there for sure. Going to activate Analyzer's effect in hand to special summon itself. It's going to hit the board. He's thinking if he wants to bounce that, which was like a worthy consideration. But at the end of the day, it wouldn't have mattered because could just go Special Hat Tricker, Normal Guardian, Special Researcher. This hand is just actually really, really stacked going second. Get a Normal Summon Guardian. And then going to be thinking here. Going to use the Analyzer. That's going to hit a couple of pretty good ones. So that's another Guardian and a Dragite. Probably safe to just go for the Guardian. That way you can negate pretty much any hand trap that might come your way as well. We know one card in hand is Rocket Synchron that was added back off the Striker Dragon, and the other 2 are unknown. Guardian gonna be the pickup here. So the rest get put back. And then now, let's see what the play is going to be. Got a lot of decisions to make. Gonna special out a copy of Hat Tricker, and then overlay those 2 for Gallant Granite, and then going to use the Granite effect, opting again not to use Seal Bounce. That's going to grab Adamancipator Seeker. So this should be a telltale sign for Gabriel that there is Researcher in hand, of course, because no point in searching out Seeker if you don't have an Adamancipator. And lo and behold, there it is. Researcher going to fire off. That is actually going to whiff. And we see the D-shifters in, which I presume are sided. Very, very strong hand trap, of course. But Seeker now going to be able to hit the board. And then that effect is going to excavate and hit a Dragite. Quite strong. So that's going to possibly dig for another extender. We get the draw off of this card. So that is going to draw a Supplier, another extender. Very, very good pickup there. So he's just going to be able to power through the board. So going to link summon a copy of Christian Halkefibrax. Fiber effect is going to, on summon, go for a copy of the Adamancipator Seeker. Not going for the TG Tank Rev this time around. He does have a lot of his zones clogged, to be fair. Gotta think about this quite carefully. Going to Synchro Summon a copy of Adamancipator Risen Raptite. And then going to use the Raptite. Of course, not going to use the Supplier to block the zones here. And that hits the 3rd copy of Guardian. So definitely should be feeling very, very safe. Because there's just so many Guardians. Going to then Synchro into a copy of Adamancipator Risen Dragite. And then trigger Supplier as well. Supplier actually doesn't have any more search targets, which is pretty funny. Going to go for a Dragite. And going to attempt to chain Seal. And then going to chain the Guardian in response. Dragite does resolve here, so that's going to excavate 2 rocks. So those 2 will get bounced to the hand. And just like that, this is 3k 49 plus another 19 is 68 plus 14 is over lethal. This is the end of the game right here, it looks like. Gonna bounce back both of the monsters and then gonna proceed to put the cards back and then enter the battle phase. Oh, not just yet. JK, I am a total liar. I forgot about Seal. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Seal does get to resolve here, of course. It is mandatory. Got a little bit hyped there, but Brotar comes out. That is going to be a blocker. And then Brotar effect, gonna target itself. Going to let that resolve. That's gonna pick up a Levianeer. I think this still is game. Supplier attack over, and then 45 plus 38 is 83. So, barring any crazy shenanigans... Oh, no, there is Tiding in Graveyard. Oh, I almost forgot about that. Tiding in Grave can bring back the chamber. So, gonna have to figure out another way to potentially present lethal here. Gonna enter the battle phase. Supplier gonna attack over the Brotar. And then Fiber going to attack. How much defense does this have? This has 18 defense. So going to use Tidying. And then gonna chain Dragite. Oh, there's a water. Right, so there's a water engraved to negate the Tidying, which means that Chamber can't come out here. And this should still be game now. So 14, 19, 19, and 3k. Or sorry, 15, 19, 19, and 3k. And that is the end of this match. So Adamancipator going to be taking it 2-0 for this first matchup here. Very, very fascinating. He went second both games, dropped Joel. First game had Nibiru. Second game just had the Lightning Storm to clear the back row. Had all the extenders. Had really, really good hits off the Adamancipators. And that is going to be the end of the first set here. So going to move on into the second set. This is going to be Paulo Gonçalves, who's going to be playing, I believe, Zoodiac Eldlich. And his opponent's going to be Brady Shields on... I can't remember the matchup, actually. I think it was also Zoodiac Eldlich. Let me check real fast, because I actually had this bookmarked. So let's see. It is going to be... Okay, so actually, no. The opponent is on Dogmatika Zoo Eldlich, which is Brady in the red here. So, for the most part, going to be a mirror match. So let's go ahead and get started with this matchup. So it looks like Paulo is going to win the RPS, going to opt to go first. And his opening hand is going to be Droll, Ghost Spell, Curse Eldwind, Tanky, and Walkero. So quite a good hand. Definitely always want to see these two cards together. Stat facilitates both the Zoo engine and the Eldritch engine quite nicely. Hand traps might be a little bit dead. The Bell is going to be useful. Droll might be not as much. And then for the red player, we got Nadir Servant, Double Ghost Spell, Curse Eldwind, and Ecclesia. So this hand is also pretty good. You can definitely do plays with Nadir Servant going second. Probably not going to do the play to pop your own Curse Eldwind with Entis, but could come up. Should be a pretty good match here. So going to go to main phase 1, activate Fire Formation Tanky. That's going to grab a search for a Zoo. So going to grab Whiptail. And then from here, going to go and activate Curse Eldwind, pay 800 life points to search for a copy of Conquistador. And then going to normal summon the Whiptail, and then go for Tiger Mortar into Chakanine into Trident. And then going to pop the Curse Eldwind with the Trident. That's going to trigger the Eldwind effect to send Conquistador. And then going to set 2, and then end phase, Conquistador, banish to set Scarlet. So 1, 2, 3, 4 interruptions that are likely to be used. Potentially a 5th one. And then going to pass. For turn, we're going to see a top decked Whiptail. So there is the Zoo engine, actually, that was missing in this hand. Going to start with a Curse Eldwind of his own. That is going to pay 800 life points to search. But Trident going to be used in response. And then Curse Eldwind effect in the graveyard. That's going to send a copy of Conquistador. And then going to normal summon his own Whiptail. And then go into Borbo. And then going to attempt to leave the main phase. In the start of battle phase, we're going to see a copy of Scarlet. That is almost certainly going to be Ghost Spelled. And that is going to damper any plays of Zeus. So suddenly these 2 interruptions are off. And now there's only the hand traps remaining in Paulo's hand. So Brady going to attack with the Borbo. That's going to get in for 1200. And then main phase 2, going to overlay Shakanine, Tiger Mortar, then Zeus. Going to use the Zeus effect on Summon. That's going to wipe the board. And then going to activate Nadir Servant. Very good follow-up. But that's going to be Ghost Bell. But has the Ecclesia anyways. So going to summon Ecclesia, use that effect. That's going to grab the Punishment. And then going to set Punishment, and then pass turn. End phase going to activate Conquistador. That's going to set Scarlet. And then Paolo is going to activate his own Conquistador. That's going to set his own Scarlet. Eldlich Mirrors are really something else. And then Walkero going to set Black Awakening as well. For turn, we're going to see Paolo top deck another Tanky, so more Zeus. So a potential for him to be able to go into his own Zeus, if at all possible. So we are going to see him activate the Tanky. That's going to grab a copy of Zoodiac Ram. And then Ram going to be normal summon. That's going to be immediately used, or prompting the Punishment. But Ram will be able to float. However, we do see Brady having the Ghost Spell for that. But that means he won't have it for the Scarlet. To be fair, there is Black Awakening anyways. Abclone actually going to be the send here, so splashing in a small Shaddoll package. So Ram going to be chilling 1, and then Abclone going to be chilling 2 because Paolo is turn player. So this is now awkward because you have to now choose between Ghost Spell and Abclone due to the way this chain is going to be built. So Abclone going to add and send Aerial. And then Whiptail going to be brought back. And then Aerial effect is going to banish. There's not actually amazing targets. Scarlet can be chained to the Aerial. So going to target Ram, Scarlet, and Trident. Going to be thinking in response here. That's going to be met with the Scarlet, as we saw coming, of course. And then that's going to set the Walkero. And the other two get banished. So there is no more Trident, but that's not going to be super relevant for the rest of the game. Going to overlay for the Hammer Kong. He knows the last card set is Scarlet, but doesn't know the card in hand. However, it doesn't answer Zeus. Going to go to battle phase with the Hammer Kong. In the start of battle phase, going to use Zeus. And that is going to wipe the board. I think that was a misclick there. Zeus stays on field. And then going to be thinking here. This game state is now very simplified. It's pretty much now just an Eldlich mirror without any of the other engines. So Black Awakening going to be banished to set Conquistador. And then going to go to end phase, banish Walkero. And then he's going to banish his Scarlet. So we're going to see Scarlet on Paolo's side and then Walkero on Brady's side. And then just going to reveal the sets. And that is going to be the end of the turn. For turn, we're going to see Brady top deck Thoroughblade, so scratch what I just said about not having the other engines. There's a Zoo engine again. So another potential way into Zeus. Has to answer what he knows is Conquistador Interruption. So there's that to contend with. However, there is Ghost Spell to negate the Scarlet again. Ghost Spell putting in a lot of work this match for both players. Gonna normal summon Zoodiac Thoroughblade, and then Paolo's thinking on summon here. Going to activate Scarlet, but that immediately gets Ghost Spelled. And that is going to be a rough one for sure. Gonna proceed to battle phase, attack with Zeus, and then attack with Thoroughblade. Was there a way to make game there? Could Tiger Mortar attach Whiptail? That's 1200, but still 200 shy. Oh no, there's Walkero to actually just make a game. But then there's Conquistador to block. So gonna activate Walkero. Going to try and attack with it, but then going to flip up Conquistador. And then main phase 2, we're going to just see a Link 7 of Linkuriboh. Or sorry, Link Spider. I don't know why I said Linkuriboh. Then going to actually link it to Asa. So Asa is going to steal his opponent's Zoo monster. Oh, yeah, actually this is illegal because of punishment. Good catch. Yeah, glad that this happened. That's one of the benefits of having like 150 watchers in the chat. So I have to go back to this whole play. So that actually makes a big difference. Because now this Zoo play doesn't really do anything. And there's no interruptions on the side of Brady, whereas Paolo still has a long way to go to recover, but isn't out of the game. I'd say both players are fairly even right now. Gonna top deck a copy of Skullmeister. That is gonna be big actually, because the only thing that's keeping Brady in the game is this Eldlich engine that is kind of fragmented, and Skullmeister is gonna put a quick stop to that. So from here, he's thinking, gonna link away the Conquistador for the Link Spider, and then normal summon Droll, which I guess is gonna be dead anyways, and then he's gonna go into his own Asa and gonna steal the Zoo, so the play that Brady tried to do, but he's not locked under punishment, so he's able to perform this play. Gonna use the Asas to steal the Whiptail. Puts him in a very strong position because now he's working with the Zoo engine again. So this turned very, very quickly. Gonna go for Zoodiac Shakanai next, and then the Tiger Mortar as well. Activating Tiger Mortar to attach the Whiptail under the Tiger. And then gonna be thinking, gonna make a Borbo as well. And then gonna go to battle phase and use the attack on the Walkera that's going to banish it. So taking 600 damage as well, and then also gonna attack over the Therablade. So now the Meister is even better because it's gonna stop any potential like random draws for turn, like any top decks. So Paolo actually came out really far ahead in that exchange due to the punishment lock specifically. Otherwise, Brady was in a good position if not for punishment. So actually, Paolo did play the Dogma engine in this deck for quite a while for the past couple of LCSs, but he's opted to drop it here and paying dividends in this particular case. Going to overlay for a Zeus, and then going to go for a pass. So not even going to use the Eldlich stuff in the end phase. Oh, actually, he's out of Conquistadors and Scarlets. So that might explain why. Might also be just playing 2 Walkero. So he might just be completely out of the Eldlich engine. So actually, just the fact that he could go into a normal summon Droll and make that play definitely put him back in it. For turn, we're going to see a top deck Barrage, which would be good if not for Zeus. And that, I think, is actually just the end of the game right there. Going to pass on this. And then going to end phase, activate Zeus. That's going to wipe the board. And then Scarlet Effect, going to set... Ah, there is one more Walkero. So there it is. So that's an extra 1800 damage. If we normal summon Meister, this is 35 plus 3k is 65. And he's only at 6350, so this actually is game. And it draws another copy of Meister as well. That is definitely fine. Going to flip up Walkero. And then going to normal summon Meister, go to the battle phase, and in a very surprising turnaround, Paolo actually going to take game 1. Lots of back and forth there, a lot of interactions. It really did come down to the punishment lock, I think. And also, Paolo just opened, I feel, a bit better in terms of both the Zoo engine and the Curse Eldland. Like, that's just a very, very strong opener. So even though the Ghost Bell put in a lot of work turn 1, wasn't enough to stop the push there. So we're going to move now into game 2. Yeah, punishment did kill him. Yeah, that is, I would agree with that. I actually did not watch really much of this match at all. I was watching more of the Rock versus Dragon Link match. But we're going to move into game 2. Brady going to opt to start here. If you guys are enjoying this commentary, definitely be sure to like the video and subscribe if you're new here and want to see more commentary similar to this style. But Brady's opening hand is going to be Servant, Nibiru, Tenki Strike, and Ghost Bell. So no Eldritch cards whatsoever in this hand. Going to be quite hard to grind for sure. Otherwise, the hand is looking quite good though. Has Punishment and Trident and Strike and 2 hand traps. So 5 interruptions, most likely. And then Paolo's hand is going to be Curse Eldon, Tenki again, drew the combo once again. Bunny Blast, DD Crow, and Barrage. This hand is quite good. Actually, he drew the hand trap that interacts with the one engine that Brady didn't draw, which is kind of funny to see. But Brady's going to start with a copy of Tenki. That's going to grab Therablade. And then go into normal summon Therablade and go into Shaka 9 and then Trident. And then going to activate Nadir Servant. That's going to add Ecclesia by sending... Did he forget to send with Nadir Servant? Yeah, forgot to send the extra deck card, which is definitely important. That is part of the text. So Nadir Servant going to send the App Cologne here. App Cologne going to add and then dump Schism. So he's on both Aerial and Schism. Pretty important to note. Going to go for Ecclesia, so maybe he's on the Maximus as well. Ecclesia effect going to grab a Search. That is going to grab Punishment. Okay, looks like not. Very curious then. So maybe he's planning on sending Construct with the Punishment, then adding back the Schism that way. Very, very interesting. Otherwise, I feel you just go for Titaniclad. But gonna set the 2 traps, and then pass. For turn, we're gonna see a top deck Skullmeister, again against the no Eldlich engine hand. But this is still pretty reasonably strong for Paolo. Going to start off with a copy of Curse Eldland. Always good. Gonna pay 100 to search for a copy of Eldlich the Golden Lord. So going to use the Lord effect to actually send away the Tanky. And then gonna force the Dryden here. And Dryden is just not gonna use anything, which is reasonable. Going to be thinking here, gonna use Lord to send away the Curse Eldland. This is gonna prompt the Solemn Strike, as a matter of fact. So going to pay 15 to negate it. And then Eldland going to activate here. That's going to trigger to send a copy of Conquistador. Going to normal summon the Bunny Blast. And then that gets punishmented on summon. So yeah, there it is. All right, so I was correct. So going to send Construct here off the punishment. And that's going to grab the Schism back. He does have the ability to Crow or Meister this. Probably is a good idea to Meister this. Well, actually, no. I think I would Crow this. Because Meister on the Eldritch traps just seems a lot better. Let's see which one he goes for. I'm curious. Oh, gonna Meister this instead. Okay, let's think about why that might be the case. Meistering this. Going to save DD Crow for potentially a Golden Lord. That's what I can think of. Is that he wants to stop a Lord Axis. So very, very interesting diversion. We'll see what ends up coming up here. So that's a decision that could end up mattering, like, not right now, but 3-4 turns down the line. That's a very, very interesting choice. Definitely keep that one in mind. Gonna go for Zoodiac Barrage as a follow-up. Very, very good. That's a strong follow-up if I've seen any. But Nibiru is going to definitely play a role here. So Barrage gonna summon out the Zoodiac Whiptail. And then gonna over for Hammer Kong and then Tiger Mortar. Tiger Mortar going to equip the Bunny Blast, going to make that Tiger Mortar a little bit bigger. Going to go to the battle phase and attack to attempt to try and banish the Ecclesia with the Whiptail effect. This, I believe, is 1, 2, 3, 4 summons. Lord did not hit the board. So, I don't think Nibiru is alive here. So yeah, going to banish the Ecclesia. And then in main phase 2, we're going to see an overlay for Shakanine, followed by a Borbo, into a Trident, and then going to drop Nibiru right here. So I'm going to do that before the Zeus hits the board. I like this. It does keep the Tenki on the field, and that is relevant, especially when you're playing Eldlich. So every little resource does matter. And also it keeps the token from being too big, because it's going to be 0-0. So going to just pass here. Going to use the Conquistador in the end phase. That's going to grab Scarlet. Now he does have Bell for this. However, Paolo does have his Eldritch engine going. Even if this does get belled, he's going to have the continual cycling every single turn. Whereas if Brady tries to get his Eldritch engine online, there's a high chance it just gets DD crowed and it gets out of the game. However, he has offensive pressure right now, so he needs to make the most of it. Let's see what happens. We could see a world in which normal summon Ghost Bell into Asa could be a play. However, there is punishment, so that's not advisable. Definitely can't forget about punishment lock 2 games in a row. Yeah, instead just going to go battle phase, beat over the 0 token, and then going to pass. Chooses not to Scarlet in the end phase, and chooses to draw for turn instead. Going to draw Meister, going to use the Lord here, and that's going to get belled, so it's getting belled regardless. So, not too bad. I think Paolo was maybe trying to play around Ash there. Scarlet going to be used. This is also a very good sign because this gets him a turn further ahead. So he's going to go for Walkero. And then going to probably just pass from here. For turn, we're going to see a top deck Solemn Strike. Really, really needs engine cards because he is low on inevitability. Now he could Lord send the strike away to hit the Walkero. And then Lord send away Tenki, which again, this is relevant. But chooses to go into battle phase here. That's going to be a set strike and then pass. So this is going to be a hedge against the Zoo play. But if this continues down the slow path of just Eldlich grinding, then it's not going to be the most alive card. So definitely got to keep that one in mind as well. Going to pass and draws another copy of Walkero, which is not bad because that does mean that we now have 2 names in circulation. And so even if the Lord gets striked this turn, that's going to actually be okay because we're going to end on Scarlet and Walkero here. So running out of time for Brady, looks like. Lord effect, that's going to be Solemn Striked. We knew this was coming, of course. Going to set the Walkero, and then going to end phase and then Scarlet. This mirror is very, very interactive, a lot of back and forth. Really like to see it. Gonna draw another Tenki for turn. All right, so this is an interesting one. Now we have access to our Zoo engine. We're not punishment locked or anything, and we have access to Zeus. So going to be thinking here, going to go for Tenki. That's going to add Whiptail. And then going to normal summon the Whiptail and go for a copy of Shakanine and then Tiger Mortar. Tiger Mortar is going to equip the Blade. Thinking here, is it really worth to use an Interruption there? I would probably personally not use anything, but let's see what Paolo goes for. He is going to commit the Walkero. I mean, it is going to lose out to Zeus regardless, so, I mean, I guess it's now or never. So that's not too bad. Gonna banish the Therablade. Not feeling too bad about this if you're on Brady's side, though, to be fair. Going to go for Borbo, and then going to go into battle phase. Going to attack into the Walkero with the Nibiru. And then gonna attack directly for 12 as well. And then in main phase 2, we're going to see overlay for Zeus. So chooses to play around Nibiru here. And gonna pass. So because Paolo chose to activate his traps, he's gonna be a turn behind on their floating effects, which makes Brady not want to actually use the Zeus there. So that is something that is important to note and something to keep in mind. I'm just making sure that I don't know why I checked this late into the match, but I just want to make sure that I had their names right. Gonna go for Tenki as the top deck. Both players drawing Tenki for turn. Quite remarkable. So he's singing for a bit. Gonna normal summon the Skullmeister. Very fascinating. Let's see what the play is here. Chooses not to commit to a Zoo. Gonna link into a copy of Nightmare Phoenix. Just to put the Lord into the graveyard. Then going to use the Tenki here. This is going to grab Third Blade, but we already committed our normal summon. This is an interesting line of play. Curious as to what this is going to yield. Lord effect, that's going to go ahead and summon itself. I guess the play was just to try and go for any body and not commit the Zoo as a normal summon because this is an actual play. And it's evident that there's just no Eldlich engine going on, at least anytime soon. So trying to make a push now. So battle phase, this will force Zeus. The board does get wiped. And there goes the Tenkis that are possibly live for this Lord in hand. Yeah, Lord in hand is definitely just not the card you want to see in a lot of cases, unless if you like need it going second as an out and you want to search it off cursed. But main phase 2, we're going to see Scarlet to Conquistador. And then we're going to also see, I believe, Walkero can trigger in the end phase. And that is going to grab the final copy of Scarlet, if I've been keeping track. Correct. So we are back on Conquistador's Scarlet Interruption and DD Crow, and has a follow-up Zeus for next turn. So it's very nice to get rid of the Skullmeister. Just needed any link to put Lord in the graveyard and then force Zeus. So strong play, very good play. And we're going to pass back. And this is looking very much like Paolo's game. Draws Nibiru for turn. That is just super dead at this stage in the game. Wasn't even alive last turn, I don't think. Yeah, it was only 3 summons, if I remember correctly. Yeah, just gonna pass. Not even opting to attack with the Zeus, or like try and force anything. Going to end phase, use the Scarlet, and there's just no interruptions here. This is looking very, very strong for Brady. Summoning the Lord from grave either means that he's only playing one or just trying to play around, random things like Ice Dragon's Prison, even though there's none set, but later on it could come up. Gonna conk the Zeus. And then gonna draw for turn. Draws Cosmic Cyclone. Here, we could just go for a normal summon Third Blade. This is 41 damage. Ooh, is there a way to make game here? Oh, I'm dumb. There was 2 Lords and Graves, so the whole Ice Dragon Prison thing didn't actually matter. I thought for some reason there was only 1. Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking that. Again, it's been a long day of casting. Please bear with me if I make minor errors here in casting. But yeah, Lord can just send away this Conquistador, and that is game right there. Yeah, Lord effect going to send away Conquistador. Summon itself can go straight to the battle phase, and there's not really anything conceivable that can stop this. Normal summon Third Blade, and that is the end of the match. So another 2-0 in this matchup here. So Paolo takes the win 2-0 against Brady, winning with Zoodiac Eldlich. So very, very interesting to see. And now, here comes the all-important match 3, and I believe this one took 85 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and not waste any more time. This is going to be, aka Christian Thomas, I believe. Just making sure, again, I have the right names. Versus Trey Massengale, who we saw in the top 16 feature match. So this is going to be Dragoon Eldlich versus Zoo Eldlich, I think. Again, there's like so many different decks in the top cut. Yeah, this is going to be Dragoon Eldlich versus Zoo Eldlich. Just got to keep tabbing in and looking at my notes. But let's go ahead and get started here. How long is this video so far? It is 41 minutes. I am going to timestamp this, of course. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this. This has just been strenuous on my voice, but we're trying to keep going here. But looks like we're going to be seeing Zoodiac Eldlich go first. So the opening hand for Christian is going to be Scarlet, Ash, Golden Lord, Hcabe, and Tenki. So lots of Eldlich stuff here. But has the Trident, so not too bad. Has a couple hand traps as well. And then the hand for Trey is going to be Scarlet, Hcabe, Ash, Drill, Strike. Joel not going to be strong here, but we saw in game 1 Paolo had it and it didn't matter. So, yeah, we might just see him take it out or take it here. Jeez, I am just like fumbling through my commentary. I apologize, but we're going to go for a copy of Fire Formation Tenki. That is going to grab a search for a copy of Zoodiac Wrap here, actually. And then Resolution, going to be thinking, going to actually activate the Droll. And then going to normal summon Wrap here. Honestly, I think it's worth keeping Droll in hand, even though it's like you're never going to use it, because it is. We've seen Droll normal summon come up just the last match even, and it's come up before. Additionally, he's playing Dragoon, so it's free pitch fodder if he draws into a Dragoon. But regardless, this might just stop like potential Cursed Eldons in hand, so might want to stop that as well. Because if they open Cursed Eldon, that's like a really strong hand, especially against this hand. So we're going to dump Bunny Blast, and then going to Tiger Mortar, and then Shotgun. Going to Shotgun effect, that's going to bring back the Bunny Blast. And then going to overlay for Trident. Going to use Lord then to send away Tenki. And then going to set the Hcabe to go ahead and summon the Lord back. Now, I was talking to one of my friends, shout out to Jeebus McAsian, and he says that he thinks the play should have been Lord, pitch the Scarlet, target the Bunny Blast, and then chain Trident to pop the Bunny Blast, because he's going to use this Trident on Bunny Blast in the end phase here anyways. So we're going to see the end phase be Scarlet and Hcabe to set Scarlet Hcabe. And then also end phase, Trident going to pop the Bunny Blast to add back. So if he had used Lord to send the Scarlet to pop, or to send the Bunny Blast, chain Trident, pop Bunny Blast would have gotten to add back the Wrap here. Lord would have sent away the Tenki for the graveyard effect instead of the on-field effect, and he would have had the Hcabe in hand still, which granted maybe was needed to be sent to the graveyard, so maybe you just pitch the Hcabe instead. There's like different ways to go about doing this, but like there's a couple of different lines. Regardless though, still pretty good. We got Hcabe as an interruption, Trident, and Ash. But that's just kind of a minor line to think about. We're going to see Summon Limit drawn for turn, so again on the main deck Floodgates. Not going to be extremely potent, but could deter Zeus to some extent. Going to be thinking for quite a while here before setting 4 and passing. End phase, going to activate Scarlet. That's actually going to resolve because there is already Lord, so not really a whole ton of point in ashing. Now, Ash is probably just going to be dead for a lot of this game. Going to draw a Conquistador for turn, that is a strong one. Now, to be fair, Scarlet would have gotten it anyways, but it's nice to have more Eldlich cards. Actually, it's not a very good top deck now that I think about it. Could have been better stuff. Could have been like a hand trap. But we're going to see everything go to attack position and going to go to battle phase, attacking for 0. Scarlet going to be flipped. That is going to be met with Ash Blossom, and we'll see if he strikes that. I think it's possibly worth it. to push your Eldlich engine through. He will not be out of the Eldlich engine, but I mean, the opponent's pretty far ahead right now in terms of just offensive pressure, so it might be worth it to use the strike. But instead chooses to let it go. So thinking in damage to a Dryden, got nothing. Gonna go and attack for 25 and another 25. And then this will make Zeus. Thinking here, gonna actually activate Walkero to get the extra damage in. So Walkero going to banish the Scarlet as well in the process. That's gonna be met by the Walkero here. So I wonder if he's gonna opt to crash. Chooses not to. Gonna go to main phase 2. And gonna overlay straight up into Zeus. So actually that did play around the summon limit there, because that was the second summon. So going for the fatter Zeus would have actually been a bit of a detriment. So that is pretty good. Again, he might be operating on knowledge that the fact that Trey is main decking this summon limit, because it's probably just known by now that's in his list. Summon is fine. Going to be going for a Link Summon of Vampire Sucker. Very interesting they found space for this in the extra deck. So this allows you to target a monster in your opponent's graveyard, special to their field, but becomes a zombie. And then if a zombie is special from either graveyard, you get to draw 1. So let's see. Going to go Sucker on Droll. Yeah, it makes it a zombie. So Sucker gonna get the effect to draw 1. That's gonna draw Black Awakening. Again, not a fantastic draw. Already well deep into the Eldlich engine. So gonna be thinking here. Pressing fast forward. Gonna Zeus, wipe the whole board. Gonna Chain Solemn Strike. Very disciplined in that. So it was good that the Ash was not striked there for the case of Zeus coming out. And chooses to hold on to the summon limit. So gonna be thinking. 3-hour game, let's go. It was like an hour and a half, honestly. Normal summoning Zeus, main phase 2. Let's see, going to send Whiptail and then gonna flip summon limit on resolution of that. So this will deter a second copy of Zeus from hitting the board. Conquistador going to be set. And then going to Lord... Oh yeah, Lord Effect to just add to hand. And then can send the summon limit, right? Yeah. So that's going to get rid of summon limit, and then we can go for another Zeus here. Very well played. We can go for Shakanine. That's going to be my Dryden. We can go for Tiger Mortar. That's going to attach Whiptail to Dryden. And then going to banish this Black Awakening. Actually, wait, is this once per turn to summon? I might be dumb. It is once per turn. All right, I'm just very bad. Or most likely it's just me being honestly tired at this point. But we're going to keep going here. I want to get this content out for you guys. So here we are. If you guys are enjoying the grind, please do like the video and share the video around. It really does help. If you guys are watching this far into the video, thank you so much. Really do appreciate it. It means a whole ton. But we're going to see Walkero be set off the Black Awakening, and then Conquistador Scarlet going to set Conquistador Scarlet. Pretty self-explanatory. Going to pass, and then draws Magical Ice Fusion. So we did actually infer that in the match versus Blade Yu-Gi-Oh! In top 16, because he made Verite with Dragoon already up, he was probably playing this card. So good to see that that is confirmed here. Going to immediately shotgun the Scarlet. And then going to use Vampire Sucker to try and draw 1. And that's going to be the end of game number 1. So Christian going to be taking game 1 here with Zoodiac Eldlich against Dragoon Eldlich. Very fascinating stuff. I'm going to take a quick sip of water right here, because I've been talking for 48 minutes straight. Let's go ahead and move into game 2 right here. Very long control mirrors as well. This is not easy stuff. But we're going to go ahead and see Dragoon Eldlich go first in game number 2 here. So Trey's opening hand is going to be double copies of Solemn Strike, Curse Eldland, Pot of Extravagance, and Eldritch the Golden Lord. So pretty good. Needs to find a way into Dragoon, preferably, but this hand's solid. And then the hand for Christian on Zoo Eldritch is going to be double Scarlet, Golden Lord, Barrage, and Cosmic. Quite a strong hand, absolutely for sure. So let's see. Gonna activate Pot of Extravagance. That's going to banish 6, and then going to get to draw Red Eyes Wyvern Extravagance. That's the wrong Red Eyes card. One of the 2 ones to not draw. Let's see. Banishes Gustav, BLS, Hulk, Dragoon, Axis, and Spider. Nothing critical, but niche things. Curse Eldon going to be used next. That's going to grab a copy of Conquistador. and then going to shuffle his hand a whole bunch. Going to set 3 and pass. For turn, we're going to see a top deck Black Awakening. Going to activate Lord effect. That's going to send away Scarlet and then target a random set. Hits Conquistador. Definitely not a great hit. Yeah, that was not live this turn, and it just accelerated the Eldlich engine even more. Yeah, so like out of all the 3 cards to hit, he got the 33% not good hits. Especially because he had Cosmic anyway. Barrage effect, target itself. Gonna summon a Whiptail. And then going to go into Shakanine and then Borbo. And then going to take the 1200 damage in the battle phase. Main phase 2, going to go into Tiger Mortar. And then going to go for Hammer Kong. And then go into Trident. And then going to strike the Trident actually. I like that actually because he used Barrage to summon out the Zoo. So if Christian had another Zoo name, that means that he can't just go like, well, I mean, he already went through all of his Zoo names, but in theory, right, like if he had a way to like bring back the Trident, like now it wasn't properly summoned. So like if you're gonna stop the Zeus play anyways, this effectively takes care of it, while simultaneously making sure the Trident isn't gonna come back. So heads up play there from Trey, very good. I like that a lot. Going to set Black Awakening, that's going to be now trying to be fodder for Lord, but that's going to be Solemn Strike. And then going to banish the Black Awakening. That's going to set the Walk Hero. And then going to banish the Scarlet to set Conquistador. Trey's playing this very well. He's keeping track of the graveyard and realizing that there is no Lord access unless if you have the Lord effect resolved that he knows of. Because he doesn't know the hard-drawn Scarlet, but in his mind, right, he knows that these 2 can already be activated. So if Lord gets resolved, then that turns on 2 interruptions for free. So that's a very, very good strike. Gonna set 2 more and then pass. For turn, we're going to see... Oh, before he draws, he's going to use Conquistador, right? Because it would send off the Lord. So going to set Scarlet. And then going to pass. For turn, we're going to see a top deck Red Eyes Fusion. That's a good one. As long as he doesn't banish the rest of his Dragoons, he might even choose to not use Extravagance here this turn. Because it's grindy anyways, so might as well just hold it off for 1 turn. We'll see if he wants the cards right now. He doesn't, yeah, he's going to be disciplined with the Extravagance and use Red Eyes Fusion. I'm loving these plays right here from Trey in game 2. But going to chain Cosmic Cyclone. That is going to hit the Curse Eldland. Definitely good. Need to get in what you can before the Dragoon hits the board. I think all the players in finals are playing very, very well. Of course, it's the finals, right? Going to be thinking in response, actually. Chooses not to do anything else. Going to go for this, the Dragoon by sending the materials. And then from here, going to think a bit. Gotta hit fast forward. I'm actually like pressing fast forward and it's playing for like 10 seconds here. We're the final match, so this is around the point where the other 2 players already finished their matches. So that's some context. Going to go for Red Eyes Dark Dragoon attack. Thinking here, I think this is where the match slowed down a lot because now all the players get to communicate on both sides. So it's basically 6 players. It's like an actual 3v3 right now. This is super exciting. Whoever wins this match is going to win the LCS. Very exciting. So going to attack for 3k, takes the attack, goes to main phase 2, and is going to be thinking. I literally have fast forward on hold right now. This never happens. Going to activate Conquistador. Oh, just kidding. Just asking to see what the sets are. And then going to pass. Draws DD Crow for turn. Opting not to use Scarlet in the end phase or anything. Just trying to see if there's a way to bypass this Dragoon, but it's going to be extremely difficult. Now, Lord is a way to force it out in some way, shape, or form because it is going to trade with Dragoon if it doesn't actually negate it. Gonna send away Scarlet to activate Lord. That's going to be negated. It does not gain the attack boost because it was not destroyed, or rather the Lord itself was not destroyed via the Dragoon effect. So gotta be thinking now. Gonna activate Conquistador. That's gonna summon itself to the field, and then Walkera as well. So those are gonna hit the board. And then gonna overlay for the Drill Driver Vespinato. This card actually is generic, not just to overlay for a zoo. So we'll see what the game plan is. You know, actually, wait, I think I know what the game plan is here. Can Crash Vespinato use Vespinato effect. I gotta make sure. Yeah, by opponent's card. Use the effect, bring back a zoo. Then because an Xyz monster battled, you can actually make Zeus with it. Super, super strong. This actually is a very smart play. I like this so much. So battle phase, going to Vespinato, and then going to attack into the drill driver, take 500, and then use the drill driver to bring back the whiptail. And then in main phase 2, we're going to overlay for Tiger Mortar and Shakanine, and then Zeus. And then this is going to... So it's interesting because I don't think this is to play around Ibiru because like these two are already summoned. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 7 summons. This is like way beyond 5. So he's thinking because he is turn player, gets to use stuff. So he's thinking if he wants to use right away or wait. Spends quite a bit of time thinking. Nothing here. Going to try and end main 2. And then going to activate the Zeus in the end phase. And chooses to chain Scarlet, actually. So that's going to summon out Lord. Everything goes to the graveyard. And it's still thinking in the end phase. Because he can trigger his own Scarlet as well. But not the Golden Lands. Scarlet to set Conquistador. And going to pass. For turn, we're going to see a top deck Golden Lord. Or Conquistador. He already had the Golden Lord in hand. He's going to use Pot of Extravagance, banish 6. So it didn't matter that he didn't use it last turn. Going to chain the Scarlet to set a copy of Wakero out of deck. And then draws Scarlet and Red Ice Fusion. This card's dead, unfortunately. Wanted the Magical Eyes there. And then going to set Red Ice Fusion and then send it away for Golden Lord. That's going to be DD Crowed. I'm very surprised, actually, this got DD Crowed here. I'm not going to lie. Because... I guess... no, that's fair. Because we saw that Wakero was set off the Scarlet just now. So that is going to somewhat curtail the Eldlich engine here. But what I'm worried about more is the Red Eyes Wyvern, right? Because that's going to bring back Dragoon in the end phase. And I don't know if there's any remaining outs to that. Like, he had a very beautiful line to out the first one. The second one is going to be a chore to deal with, though. Thinking here, going to use Lord Effect, pitching Conquistador to send the Zeus. And then going to go to end phase, going to banish the Wyvern to go for the Dragoon, and then Conquistador to set a copy of White Destiny. Then going to pass. End phase, Conquistador, going to be used to set Scarlet, and then going to draw Whiptail, or geez, Thoroughblade for turn. Wow. You can tell that I am very much tired here. But it's okay, we're going to keep going here. Scarlet effect, or Scarlet is going to be sent away for Lord effect. And then going to chain Wakero in response, and then the White Destiny to bring back the Lord. And that's going to banish the Lord that was activated. And that is going to be the end of the game. So, it all comes down to this. Both the other matches were actually 2-0s, but this is a 1-1 here, with Trey taking game number 2 with Dragoon Eldlich. So, this is the final game of the entire LCS. We have 288 watchers. I don't know if you can see that. You can. Okay, good. Awesome. This is all it. This comes right down to the wire. Who's going to take it home? I literally have fast forward on right now, and it's still not going. Shouts to Distant Coder. We're going to keep going. All right, lots of thinking here. Both teams got to play very carefully. It is still very much a 3v3, so we got to really think about that. But for Game 3, we're going to see Dragoon Eldlich forced to go first. Very fascinating. Opening hand is going to be Scarlet, Conquistador, Cosmic, Red Ice Fusion, Magical Ice Fusion. Not a bad hand at all. Very decent. Not great to draw this, but honestly, with Red Ice Fusion, it could definitely come in handy later on. So I do like this. Not bad. All right, main phase 1, going to activate Red Ice Fusion. That's going to be Ash. Very big. I didn't go over the Zoo Eldlich player's hand. Oh my goodness. It was Ash, Tenki, Golden Lord, Rapier, and DD Crow. So Ash on Red Ice Fusion obviously was big there. Definitely the public enemy number 1. Going to be thinking here. Going to set 2 and pass. This is not very good, actually, because now there's just only 1 interruption. And there's not a whole lot to use with Cosmic on your opponent's turn, except to stop maybe Curse Eldland. Here, like, it could technically stop Tenki, but you never Cosmic a Tenki in this matchup, of course. Tenki going to grab Thoroughblade is because they always have another Zoo, or they could have another Zoo, right? It's not high value. Just in case you guys are wondering. But Thoroughblade going to be normal summoned. That's going to pitch the Ram to draw a Walkero. Not a bad draw at all. Very good to help get into the Eldlich engine in tandem with this Golden Lord here that's already hard drawn. So unbricks the Lord as well. So on summon, gonna immediately try to go for his Scarlet to pop the Zoo with a Conquistador, but the Ghost Bell is going to deny that from happening. Very good hand traps here. This is going to be extremely solid. I think that Christian is extremely far ahead right now. So Magical Ice Fusion is dead due to the Ash. The Eldritch engine can be stopped and hindered by DD Crow. Christian has his own Zoo engine and Eldritch engine. Things are looking very, very good here. I fast forward on again. Gonna be thinking here. Golden Lord gonna send away Walkero and itself. That's gonna get rid of the Conquistador. And this is big because this Scarlet attempted to activate, so it cannot be used in the end phase this turn. This Conch can be used because it was not used in response to the Lord. However, DD Crow can banish it before going to the end phase. Lord effect, that's going to send away Tanky. Going to summon itself, and then going to go into a Tiger Mortar and go to battle phase. That's going to attack for 35 and 16, so quite a hefty chunk of damage. Going down to 29. Main phase 2, going to go for Shakanine, and then Hammer Kong, and then Borbo, and then Dryden, and then Zeus. 6 Mat Zeus, very, very good. Yeah, going to DD Crow in the main phase, I like this a lot. Going to get rid of the Conquistador. And then in his own end phase, does he have anything to activate? He has Walkero, so he's on his way to more Eldritch cards. Would have been preferable if this was a Scarlet that was pitched, but I mean, can't always pick everything, of course. Going to go for Scarlet, and then going to pass. Very advantageous position. And Ash is the top deck. That's 100% dead, and this is absolutely just going to be the end of the game. No way that no way to come back from this one. Dang, after 2 amazing games, this is going to be the game 3. Really? This is so anticlimactic. No! This is actually so sad. And he's going to reveal the hand. And that is going to be the end of not only game 3, not only the end of this match, but the end of all the finals. So, at the end of the day, we're going to have Team Fala Galera. I totally butchered that. Fala Galera 4.0. Oh my god, my tongue is like so tired right now. But they're going to take it with a 2-1 overall match score. And this was an absolute banger of a finals. Thank you so much if you stuck with me. This was an hour and 2 minutes. I cannot wait to see if you guys, or what your guys' responses are going to be. I'm looking forward to the comments. Not even going to do my regular outro. Just going to say thank you so much for watching. Love you guys. Stay awesome. Yu-Gi-Oh is a great game when you get to play. And thank you so much. We'll catch you in the next video. Thank you, thank you, thank you.